Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this weekly live Ask Me Anything live Q&A to the audience. My name is Scott Weir from Pillow Partners. Today, I'm talking about a subject very, very close to my heart, and that is using your serviced accommodation property for good, for social impact. One of the things we do at Pillow, apart from serviced accommodation management, is making sure every single stay does good for communities. We want every single guest that uses our platform, our services, every single host that uses us to do some good for the local communities where our properties are created. So this is a super passionate topic of mine. And therefore, if you've ever seen me speaking about property management and business and entrepreneurship and serviced accommodation, I can talk for a long time. But when it comes to talking about our charity and doing good and social impact and helping communities, I can talk for 10 times the amount I can on business. So I have Grace behind the scenes helping us with the questions as always. My assistant is here. She's going to throw things at me if I start talking too long about this. Again, it's a topic I'm super passionate about, so I don't want to go on too long. I want to keep it nice and brief. Therefore, normally these 45 minutes I like to stick them. I'm going to try and get this done in half an hour, guys, simply because I need to watch my time. Now, I love talking about what the team do, again, because I set the charity up, I set the business up. These days it's all about the team, and it's all about the people that help us. So the team are here running the charity. Secondly, it's our amazing hosts, the people that use Pillow, list with Pillow. We manage their properties. And again, finally here, it's our amazing guests. The guests drive all this as well. If you've ever stayed with Pillow, you'll see the social impact that you have done. So without further ado, I am going to jump in, and Grace is going to send me the first question here, guys. I don't know what the questions are, but I've asked the team to basically chunk them into segments. We're going to start with all the questions that you guys have sent over so far, and all the frequently asked questions we have about the charity. I'm going to give you a little introduction. We're going to talk about hosts. If you're a host, how you can use your property for good. We're going to talk about our partners, our franchise network, our referral network, and our franchisees. Finally, we're going to focus on guests. If you're thinking about staying with us, you're going to be really excited about what you can do as a guest. Watching this live, guys, please fire in your questions. If you're watching on record and your question hasn't been answered and you're watching this on YouTube, social media somewhere, please fire it through and we will get that question answered for you. But as we're live, guys, just ask any questions that you wish. So moving on to the first question. What do we have? Can you explain what the Safe Havens does as a charity? So everybody knows Pillow Partners. That is our property management company. But I always use, since we started in 2016 formally, and for 10 years before that, I wanted to use the properties that we have for good. So I set up Pillow Safe Havens, now has a board of trustees and a really passionate team behind it. But Safe Havens is our registered charity. If you've ever tried to set up a charity, it is not easy. You need to be regulated, you need to be accountable, so you can't just set a charity up and start raising money. So for me, it was important. We always gifted our properties to charity. We gave it to people that needed it. Females that flee in domestic violence, always gifted time in our properties to children with leukemia, these types of things. But we wanted to formalise it with a charity so that we were held accountable. So Safe Havens is our charity. It means we can legally and ethically raise money from guests and hosts and anybody that wants to donate. So lots of things around that. Pillow Safe Havens, we want to provide funded stays for those in communities that need it the most. Now, we do lots of other things above and beyond that, but one of the big mission statements for us is providing funded nights in property. Our first target here is 10,000 nights a year that we want to redistribute to those that need it. Now, our charity here exists simply to give to other charities and good causes. There are drives and things that we do as a charity that we feel is important and causes we want to help. But essentially what we want is all our hosts across the UK, all our franchise partners, all our guests to drive where those charity donations go. So Safe Havens is our charity. We want to do things like collect food to give to food banks. We want to collect clothes. We're excitingly setting up a brand new Super HQ for Pillow Safe Havens, where people can drop stuff off, lots of books and games. We will give them to poverty families. We're going to have our own food bank that people can drop off non-perishables. So Safe Havens is our charity for hosts and guests, third parties, and all the team fundraising here at Pillow. So hopefully some more questions will come in, and I'll try and chunk it about the questions so that I don't jump ahead. Next question, same question. How much money goes to running costs? And that is a great question, and something I'm super proud of is that 100% of your money goes to the charity. I'm in a really fortunate position, having built Pillow over 17, 18 years now. We're in a position that the resources we have, I think we've got 40 staff members and a team all over the UK, and accounts people and marketing people. Grace behind the scenes here also does all the marketing and social media for the Safe Havens side of things, runs the social media accounts, the team build the web pages. So every single penny that you donate, guys, goes to the charity. I don't know if we're the only charity in the UK that does that, but we have zero operating costs. That's right, zero. Why? Well, it gets funded. The team volunteer their time. Check the social media. We're all out at delivering food for food banks. So the cost to run all the accountancy, there's no wages, there's no employees, nobody makes money out of this. If you donate £100, £100 goes to that. So the marketing team, I pay their wages, and that just some of that gets absorbed on the work that they do with the charity, the office costs, absolutely everything. So great question. Zero operating costs, and 100% of your money goes to a charity, guys. I might be wrong, but I think we're the only charity that does that. So super, super proud of that. The next question, what type of causes do you support? Well, we are pretty broad about that. And it was a hard decision. Do we support a certain amount of causes? So some great charities, if I take the example of Callum's Cabin, they're very, very clear. They are providing stays for children with cancer, etc. So they're very, very clear on their mission statement. For us, we want to be as broad as possible. So what type of causes? Well, some of the criteria I like to have for the charities we support, we're not going to be giving money to these big international ones, and not going to be helping causes that may be close to your heart, guys, but there ain't directors running about in Mercedes with 160 grand salaries. I'm never funding that. That's never going to happen with Pillow. We wanted to go to the grassroots community ones. So for us, and I'll cover the exact causes that we love to support, but the criteria for us, we want to support small charities and communities that may not get the big money. If we give £1,000 to a charity locally in the community run by passionate volunteers, that's a world of difference. That saves lives. If I give 100 grand to some of these big charities, it fucking goes to warlords. The food never gets to these villages. And again, they're all corrupt. They're all got big, massive salaries. The money does not go to where you believe it is. And some of the fundraising, like 80% cost of fundraising goes to the guys on the streets. It's a business. Fundraising is a business. So for us, we do it, one, for charities where we can see the impact. Secondly, our job is a support organisation, not just charity, but support, is to raise the awareness of the charities. So cancer and overseas aid doesn't need awareness because they have unlimited budgets of your money to spend in marketing and advertising and fundraising. We want to give to a charity that we can then put into other people's awareness, so that they don't just get our donation or time or money, but also that gives them other funding streams as well. So our criteria: local, small charities that don't get any big exposure, and then we can use our platform, the Pillow platform, alongside the Safe Havens platform, to get awareness, raise more funds from more people, and then our tiny donation of a few £1,000s or whatever that is eclipsed by the good that does, with Grace behind the scenes sharing these stories on social media, sharing that charity's website with our links, putting it on our social media and newsletters. And again, we're just 10xing the amount of visibility that a small charity doesn't have, and they can leverage our team here. What do we do? Well, we've mentioned domestic violence. We support homelessness. We don't put homeless people in our properties, but if we raffled off a night in a luxury place and raised £1,000, well, that can buy 50 sleeping bags. I don't know. We can feed homeless people, but we don't need to give the properties. We just raffle them off to other charities, and the homeless charity can then raise that money. Children's end of life memories, if they've got cancer or leukemia, these types of things, and don't like saying the cause of support. It's quite sad, but it does massive good. Some women escaping domestic violence. Mental health is a big one as well. Teenage suicide prevention, taking people that have young kids that have tried to commit suicide, they don't want to leave the hospital or wherever to go back to that house, so we can give them a week in some of our properties, and our hosts are super generous to facilitate that, as I guess, and the team here that donate their time. So we're not stuck with causes. We'll do loads of stuff helping dog charities, and if you saw the social media, we were raising stuff and paying extra money for cases to take, which we paid for ourselves, to take children and dog stuff over to Cape Verde to help the stray dogs and the children in need over there. So pretty much anything we will support. There's things we want to stay away from, like politics and religion and these big corrupt charities with lots of costs. But again, we are open to anything, and you guys can nominate even local community heroes that deserve something for working unrecognised for decades. So a long list there. How can I get involved? Well, good question. We're going to try and chunk this down very easily. You can scan the QR codes in any of our properties. It takes you through to your phone. I do this at training. If you scan a QR code of mine with a Apple Pay, you're literally making a donation in less than 60 seconds. It's that easy. Scan, boom, click your amount, donate via Apple Pay, and it's processed via Apple Pay in seconds. I don't know about other phones, but I would assume they're similar. So you can scan, make actual donations. You can make donations at high level to Pillow Safe Havens in the UK or your local area. You can stay at one of our properties and leave food for food banks. Other companies will charge you and take your deposit for leaving tins and stuff, and use any excuse to get a little bit of your deposit money. We want you to leave that. We collect that and donate that to local food banks, homeless charities, etc. Next, you can drop stuff off at any of our centres, any of our regional places. We would then redistribute things like games. We did a big drive for selection boxes to give to low-income families. Then we gave them to a local authority. They wrapped them up and delivered them to families. As simple as that. So you can do that. If you're a host, you can donate time in your property. We call it a pillow pledge. 7 nights a year. Off peak, when you're empty, we will then, using our tech platform and our facilities, we'll then put that on. We can auction it off, we can raffle it off, and give it to third-party charities for them to do it, or we can pick the causes that are nominated via our charity.pillowpartners.com website. So lots of things you can do. You can donate not just money, but time. You can support the causes here. The team are always out. We give them time off the actual employed time to go and donate their physical efforts to some charities. That's packing boxes for food banks, etc. Lots of ways that you can get involved, and just helping sharing our social media content. You don't need to donate money. There's many other things you can do. You can come up with fundraising ideas. The team, we've just signed up for the Kilt Walk again this year, 26 miles of excruciating pain for 8 hours to raise money. I think the last time we did that, we raised over £4,000 just for walking for a day. So the team will do that. So our fundraising activities, you could sponsor, you could get involved, or you could run your own. Next one. Are there any causes you won't support? Generally, no, we want to help as many as possible. I did say if it's super big organisations, well, that's not the best use of our resources. We have supported the big companies and charities. Again, I'm very clear about this. I think they're all these big multi-million pound international ones, all corrupt. We're not giving money to them doing 160 grand charity, doing the job I do and getting 160 grand for it. I get that's a full-time role for them, but we can't fund those wages. We can't look at a charity's books and say, well, there's £10 million a year in running costs. So we could give that to local grassroots charities and communities. We don't want to be doing anything to get involved in controversial topics like religion, or we're not going to be religion, politics. If you've got a political party that you want to raise money for, that's not who we do. We help communities here. Again, if somebody wanted to, one of the local wars, they wanted to raise money for arms and weapons to fund a war, we're just not going to get involved in funding anything that goes towards killing children in other countries. And that sounds crazy because they essentially, the causes they support, would you want to support this cause? We're not going to support wars in any form, guys. It's the opposite of who we are. And by the way, it's the opposite of who you should be as a decent member of society. So anything there that might be offensive, anything that's going to fund wars or been detrimental, and it would shock you how many people ask us to donate to things that are going to just kill overseas kids. So it's a very hot topic. I want to support the communities locally that makes a difference. Whereas that small, even a £50 donation or a big box of food actually save lives. You know, 30, 40 quid could get nothing if it goes overseas. Never going to see it. But if we helped someone, a little teenager, get a counselling session, it's 30 quid, that could save their life. So that's who we do want to support, not who we don't. So that is us. Moving on to hosts. So that was a very brief overview of our Safe Havens charity. Now I want to move on to hosts. So clump these questions together. How do I support Safe Havens as a host, as a property owner? Well, I've been in the property market 20 years, since 2002 or 3, I think I first started in residential lettings. And it was very, very hard for those first years, that first decade, to use properties for good as a residential buy-to-let landlord. And one of the reasons we focused exclusively on short-term rentals and set the social impact up is because we can use short-term rentals for good. So as a host, there's lots of things you can do. One of the things we love is our hosts that lists with us we don't need to use us for management, guys. You can plug into our tech platform, plug into our listing site as an online travel agent. We will get you bookings, so you make money there. We can also utilize everything I'm saying here by being on our platform. And if you want to donate a pillow pledge between up to 7 nights a year off peak. Now, some hosts want to do 2-3 weeks if they're empty. They'll do last minute things. Some hosts super support us. Some need that occupancy to pay the bills, hit the break-even points. So you can pledge. We're not asking you to physically do it until we get someone to match with your property, but we can do a pillow pledge. You can pledge to give 3 a weekend or 7 nights in your property. We add them up, and we want our pillow pledge to get to 10,000 nights this year. So we may not need to use all that. We may not have the facilities and the capacities. Your property may not be used, but the best thing you can do is pledge your property to us. You don't need to use us as a managing agent. You can just list on our platform and all the tech is done. We'll give you all the things to put in your properties. You'll get a little folder like this that explains everything, and we'll give you the QR codes. So it's nice and simple, and it doesn't cost you anything. As a host, I want you to share our content. Stronger together as our core value. Make lives better is also one of Pillow's values, but it's the main value for Safe Havens. So share our content, support our causes. Maybe when the team are out running up mountains in the rain and doing crazy things, you would give them a little fiver. You can do that. You can donate all the stuff in your house. You can send it to our main Safe Havens HQ. We're going to be racking big, massive room of things. We're going to put them in the website to auction off. I opened up and had a cupboard on 40 Xbox games. Rather than just giving them to charity, they're on the website and we'll sell all of them off. So anything you don't need, we'll put on our platform and we can sell. That money goes straight to Safe Havens. You can volunteer. You can share the word about Pillow. But again, as a host, you're in a privileged position. You can not only make amazing money from a hands-off investment that you don't need to do, but you can help local causes. You can save lives. And that's the reason Safe Havens was set up. We can't do this with buy-to-let properties, can't do it with HMO, can't do it with commercial. Service accommodations and short-term rentals is a magical thing because we will have some occupancy here and there. We can block a weekend off in a rainy January that we're not going to get bookings anyway, and we can save a life with that weekend. That's how powerful that is. Next one. Do I need to donate time in my property? You don't, guys. again, when we're selecting hosts that we are going to use for full management, and somebody saying, I'm not giving your effing charity any money, I don't care, I want to maximise income, I don't want to give 2 nights a year to your charity, it's probably not a good match for us. However, there's no obligation to do this. We would love you to support the cause, but we understand some people have high fixed costs. It isn't about our charity, it's about your property investment. Again, we're talking about safe havens in the charity side, but the principal conversation we have here is property management, and some people need every single penny to survive, to pay their own mortgages. So you don't. But we would ask that you share the word, you help and support us in other ways, but you don't need to. And if you pledge time and change your mind, that's totally fine. The next question for hosts, can I pick my own causes? Absolutely. Again, there's some caveats. We want it to be a local community cause in your area. If you've got a property in a rundown part of Birmingham and you stay in an affluent area in London and you want these causes to go to send Timothy to trumpet lessons or accordion lessons or whatever, that's not going to fit. We don't want you to spend your money in your area when you're in an affluent area, when your property may need some help somewhere else. So if we're helping a small community centre in a rundown area and you're getting the benefit of your money making profit and hands-off residual income, so there are caveats, but yes, you can. Our franchisees can. Hosts with really big properties can make a difference. They can raise tens of thousands of pounds a year with some properties. So yes, you would get to pick your cause, unless it's political, unless it's detrimental, unless it's unethical or whatever. But we want it to be kind of agnostic and neutral, but we want it to deliver the maximum impact. So although you can, if you say, I want to send my money overseas to help some overseas charity, if it's your property and you want to use it for that, fine. But again, I would love you to embrace what the team are doing. The team will have researched all these different causes in your local area to get the maximum impact. Again, not just to deliver social impact, but if we can share that story, it will get you bookings for your property. It will increase the visibility. It will get you press releases into the local newspaper. It will make you money, but that's not going to be the case if you're giving it to overseas, because there isn't any good news stories there. So we want to do the local causes. Hopefully that makes sense. But guys, if you've got amazing properties and want to pick your own causes, work with your property manager, speak to the team, and that can be done for you. Next, if I commit to the pillow pledge, am I obliged to actually give the nights? So as we'd said, the pillow pledge is that it's a pledge. We want to know how many nights we have available. Again, if we can get 10,000 nights a year, maybe those pledges aren't fulfilled for various reasons. Maybe someone sells the property, totally fine. Maybe you've pledged time in your property, but the team have got your fantastic 8 months booking. Well, we're not going to ask you to put that person out. We're not going to ask you to do this in the peak of summer. So you pledge it, but you're not obliged to do it. Now, if you're changing it the day before a child with leukemia goes into your property for that end of life stay to experience memories with their family, and you say, no, I'm going to use it myself, that little kid dying of cancer is not getting in. That's not really what we want as a host. However, if it's a couple of months away, we will just put them somewhere else. So that's the beauty of clustering properties, having properties over the UK. Being one of the biggest management companies in the UK, we can take somebody out your property, give them a similar one. We're here about giving experiences to people that need it the most. So if we need to swap your property for another one, that's fine. We do like our hosts to embrace it, but we understand if you're not a fully managed client with Pillow and you're just plugging in to our social impact technology platform and utilizing this to help your property, then that's fine. Things change, but you're under no obligation to do it. Just give us enough notice so that we can put people somewhere else. So as a host, can I help in other ways apart from nights in my property? Absolutely. Loads of ways you can do that. Again, helping and supporting us is one of our biggest things. Following us on social media, sharing the good news stories, getting us other hosts and people who own property who may be interested in this, donating. Again, we say donating, it's a wee £5-10. We're not wanting you to remortgage your house. It's pennies, it's nothing. It's a cost of coffee, it's a sandwich. that could go and save lives. So supporting us, helping us, sharing us, opening the newsletter. We like newsletter open rates to be high because it's sharing the good news. Nominating someone as well that you think in a local community could benefit, could be a hero, that unsung hero in your community that gets no help, but's helped their neighbour every day, their elderly neighbour, that they do their shopping for no money, they just help because they're decent people. They definitely hit our criteria to get a stay. So nominating people, helping us, sending us all your old stuff. I found an old watch the other day. It was a Hugo Boss watch. Sorry if you're one of my exes that got me that watch. I've never worn it, but I'm going to raffle it off for the charity. So it is going to good use, but it was there. And I will put that on our website. Somebody can buy it. Somebody can donate, or I'm not going to auction it. But it was a 200 quid Hugo Boss watch. We will raise money for that. That will get I'll get 20 meals for somebody, or a counselling session for someone thinking of committing suicide. So loads of ways that you can help here. Super. Moving on to the next question. So I think we'll be moving. I think that's the one for the host, Grace, is it? We're moving on to franchisees. Fantastic. So now we're going to look at it from a franchisee. I say a franchisee, but a partner here. And we have many, many people that support us at Pillow, and thank you for those. Whether you're ambassadors, whether you're ex-hosts sharing the word, whether you're a formal employee, a formal franchisee, a business partner in any way, an affiliate, anything, anybody that uses us, even our suppliers that help us, many, many suppliers and people that we use and they use us, help us. So thank you to everyone there. How can you help us? Well, you may not have a property, but you can do lots of other things. Again, sharing the word, sponsoring us. You can come along. We've just put the call out for the Kilt Walk, which is a walk to Loch Lomond in Scotland. We did it last year. Our franchisees came up. A big shout out to Liz, who came all the way from Lancashire. So this year we want as many of the team there as possible. We invited tradespeople to come along, so you can come along in any of our fundraising. We do lots of cool, fun stuff to raise money. You can donate stuff, send stuff to our office. You could even book time in our properties. Sometimes we do givecations where we ask the owner not to donate time for free, but a big chunk of the income goes to the charity. You can use our platform, and you can use our other host property that then gives money to charity. So you can, as a franchisee, do anything you want. But yes, you can choose your own. You can choose your own. I'm way in a tangent there. You can choose your own causes. Again, we've answered this in previous sections. No political things, no religious things, no things that's going to end up going overseas. We want it in your area, guys. You want to build up a great reputation in your area as an ambassador for doing good. Again, if you're a franchise, you don't want to be taking the donations that your guests have given in your property, in your area. Let's say Glasgow, where we're recording this. We don't want to be taking that and sending it to Kensington or Chelsea in London and a charity there. We want to be keeping it local. So keep it local in your area. You'll get the good news stories. You'll get the goodwill. You want to really build relationships with people. And hey, if you're a franchise or a partner or somebody in your area, we want to drive the economy to your area. We want to drive bookings. We want to bring in people to support the local businesses, to not use the big Frankie and Benny's of the world and the Pizza Hut and the Nando's, those small businesses that are struggling. So yes, you can, but we want to use it in your area. Next, how do I raise money as a franchisee? Well, this is all kind of done for you as part of our package. And guys, I say franchisee, I mean partner. You will get your pack, and again, it'll be full of QR codes. We'll give you posters. So let's assume that's a poster. Donate to Safe Havens when you go. People can literally go through all of your properties, raise that, scan that, raise money. It goes to you as a franchisee. So if you're donating for all our other causes, it will go to Pillow or Safe Havens HQ. As a franchisee, it goes to your local area, your franchise region, so or your own account. Even as a partner, even got one person that just is an ambassador, says nice things. They've got their own Safe Havens account, their own specialist QR code and landing page. Again, we've built all the tech here to make it very simple. We've said you can scan a phone with Apple Pay and pay in less than a minute, but you can go to the page and put your credit card details on a computer. All super secure. It's third-party tech. So everything we've spoken about. You can do fundraising, you can do your own little things in your area. I want you guys to get creative as partners and franchisees. How would you like to raise money? The tech, and it doesn't cost you anything, everything is there. You can do lots of different things, raffles, anything in your area. But again, the biggest thing you can do, build your portfolio, get your hosts to do the pillow pledge, and then you're getting to sometimes get to tens of thousands worth of donations a month. So lots of amazing things you can do as a franchisee to earn money. So how will this help me as a business owner? Well, first things first, guys, we are talking about the charity side of things and the social impact side. So if it didn't, then we're doing it because we're good people. We're doing it for the bigger picture to help communities. So if it didn't, then so what? We're doing it. It's not going to cost you money, but how will it help you as a business owner? And guys, there's a certain karmic debt that gets paid. The more you give back to the universe, the more you will get that back. But secondly, I think this is from a very smart business decision. If you could spend your time doing cold calls and trying to build your portfolio and make your business better versus giving back, giving out to communities, what do you think is more powerful a message? We do not use a charity to make money. It's totally separate. As we said, there's no costs. But as a business owner, it makes zero sense to be selfish here. I can tell you, as a franchise owner, as a business owner from Pillow, the more that we deliver social impact, the more nights that we can give, the more the universe will give back. We'll get press releases, we'll get in the papers, people will hear about it, people will pick you over someone else. So I say that not to use a charity. The charity is set up for a totally different reason, selflessly, and the team do it. But as a business owner, it's absolutely insane not to do this as a franchisee or a business owner, giving back to your local communities. And guys, whether you're a partner of ours, whether you're a business owner, whether you're just a supplier, you guys have businesses. You are in an amazing position. It's the same as hosts. Hosts are in an amazing position to have a second home that they rent out to make money. They've got a residual income, making more money from their properties, been managed by Pillow, hands off, than some people are working 40 hours a week. So let me just say that again. There's hosts with us making money, hands off, because our franchisees will manage their property, making more money than some people on the minimum wage out grafting 40 hours a week to put food on their kids' table. So hosts are in a privileged position, guests are in a privileged position to be buying second holidays and staycations and deals. They're in a great position, hence they can help. As a business owner, we're in an even better position than those two because we're going to scale the Pillow business up. And trust me, guys, the more you give back, the more your business will grow. Will this cost me money as a franchisee? Guys, whoever asked that question isn't ever going to be a franchisee. So let me know your name, Grace. Find out who said that. That's not who we're looking for. If you don't want to do any of this, it's not. But the answer is no, it's not going to cost you money. We've invested a lot in the tech, the systems, the resources. The team here will do everything. The Pillow charity or the Safe Havens charity has zero costs. It isn't going to cost you money as a franchisee. But if it did cost you a little bit of money to build your business, to give back, to help save lives, then so be it. But the answer to the question is no. It's not going to cost you money. What it will cost is a little bit of time. We're going to need your time to come up with these ideas, to do things, to support the team here at HQ, like the post, share the good news stories, explain this to your hosts and people who would love to list with you. But it's probably coming, unless I've interpreted that wrong. Hopefully I haven't, Grace, interpreted that question wrong. But whoever's asked that probably isn't a good fit for us guys, but it won't cost you money. But even if it did, it is going to cost you time. We're going to put some energy into this. And with that, would I need to do this as a franchisee? No, you don't. But let me tell you, I would not. The final decision if you're a franchisee or not would lie with me. If you're saying you're not going to do this as a franchisee, I probably wouldn't select you. Unlikely. I can't see any situation, even if you brought £1 million into my business, I couldn't ever see a position where if you weren't going to do this, I don't want to do this, I just want to make money, I don't care about this, you probably wouldn't be a good fit for Pillow. And the decision of whether you get in lies with me, and that would be a hard no for me. So that's us. I think that's pretty much everything covered. Grace, is it, for the hosts? So we're going to move on to guests now. Now, we've covered hosts, we've covered guests, we've covered third parties. We're going to cover how you can help us as a guest. So guests are in an amazing position, and I super appreciate every single guest that stays with us as Pillow. Why? Well, they've got a whole of market decision there. They've chosen to stay with us, sometimes because we have a property under management that no one else does, and they wanted the specific property. But I'll tell you, a lot of our guests choose us because they want to do some good in the world. And if you don't understand that, if you put through Airbnb and a host that didn't support Pillow Safe Havens, you just get your property, which is fine. But if you're booking it through Pillow Direct, then there's a good chance that you're going to be helping save lives there. So a lot of people book direct with us. A lot of people, guests, want to use us. They refer friends and family, simply because they're going to do something good. They're getting more than property. They're getting the amazing things that our guests do. Hosts are good enough to donate the properties. Businesses make donations, but it is our guests that are the superstars here. So how can I support Safe Havens as a guest? Nice and simple. The new platform, you can go on, you can make a donation at checkout. Totally up to you what that is. It's nice and simple. If you've booked a holiday for £1,000, you may want to put £10 on. It's like 1% or something. So you might want to put £20 on. The properties that you book will tell you what that goes to. So it isn't, well, there's money off into the ether. You'll get to see where your donation helps. So you can do that. If you're staying with us, you could have excess food that you want to leave. You can leave it in one of our food donation bins, but you could also just buy a little bit more in your shop, guys. We'll tell you what you want. We don't want milk because it's going to go off. Don't need yogurts. We're going to have things that the homeless charities and the food banks tell us that we should get. So that will all be provided in check-in details in the property. Got a little pack telling you everything. You can scan the QR codes. So if you were doing a shop and wanted to just get an extra couple of tins, guys, think about how much a tub of pasta costs or some soup. It's a couple of quid. If you're buying a supply to go and cook your dinner, your lovely holiday lodge, you're in a great position, guys. What's the cup of cost of coffee when you get a macchiato, double flavoured, blonde roast, sugar-free syrup? It's a fiver. You get a fiver's worth of food, and that feeds a family. That's a meal for 3 people. So, guys, we can do that. You can leave stuff. So, winter clothes. In the winter, there's a big coat. You can leave sleeping bags. You can leave mats that we can give to homeless to sleep under, because again, it isn't all about sleeping bag. It's about the mat underneath. There's lots of things that we will help you with. You can leave stuff that we could raffle off. You could leave things that go to kids, like books, education books, all the things that kids grow out of quick. Apparently babies grow up fast. There's a pram, there's a cot. There's prams and cots and buggies and everything over in the corner there. I won't show you, but these will be given to families that can't afford the big fancy stroller or whatever you call them. So there's loads of things that you can do there. You can donate and scan once you're in the property. You can share words. You can sponsor us when we're doing our walks. So there's kind of unlimited things you can do as a guest. But again, before we move on, thank you very much to every single guest that's ever helped us here. And guys, you may be booking accommodation on a budget. You may not have money for food, and we totally get it. You could say, Scott, I am the person that should be getting Safe Havens things, and I'm staying here because my child's going to hospital, and there's other stories. You may be of benefit to this when we would help you with the charity. You may not have a lot of money, but guys, just like with social media, share stuff and jump onto our newsletter, share the good news stories. That's often as impactful as making a donation. Will this make my stay more expensive as a guest? That is a great question. The answer is no. Essentially, it's all funded by the profits of Pillow. So the team will be doing their magic. Grace is here running this behind the scenes here. Grace will also be doing the social media for the Safe Havens and sharing your good news stories and making the newsletters, etc. That's essentially the profits of Pillow. So the team give their time freely above and beyond their employment. The franchisees give their time. Our hosts give their property. Essentially, everything is nothing costs anything for the charity, so this does not make your stay more expensive. Now, if you've booked through Airbnb, Booking.com or whatever and made money into the bank and your stay was £500, it will be that. Maybe if you book through a booking platform, you may want to make a 1% donation at the end, but that's you voluntarily, but it's not built into any of the prices. This is something we want people to do with love, with kindness, with intention. We don't want to be rolling it up and say, when you go, you can give your waitress a tip or your waiter a tip, and now there's service charges everywhere. You're like, no, wait a minute, I don't want an automatic service charge on my meal because the service could have been rubbish. So we don't do that. It's totally up to you guys. It does not make your stay more expensive. It's quite the opposite. So, do you keep me updated on how my support has helped people? Yes, and one of the things I have failed in this charity up to this year is not sharing the good news stories of what we do. I walk about the office, I see the stuff the team do, I see the newsletters, and it blows my mind of just how amazing things are moving along, how generous guests are. That little £20 donation or that sleeping bag went to something in the homeless charity to say that could have saved that guy's life because it was a bad frost. A sleeping bag and a coat and a ground blanket that somebody brought from their camping saved somebody's life. Now, I haven't shared those stories because I've felt quite self-conscious shouting about this, but that's been a failure from my part. So yes, we will 100%. Grace is going to do the newsletter. The website's going to be updated all the time. We're hoping to build out where the property that you book will show all the causes anonymously. You don't need to be named, but you'll see the people previous people booking this property have done this, 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 and this. And that is massively powerful. So that's my ambition for this year. But you will be updated. You will get to see how you have helped. And if there's something amazing happened, like I say, that person just given some old camping gear, probably helped save that person's life with a -10 frost this year. It's saved a life. They just brought it and left it. It was don't mean it was nothing to them. It was very generous, but it was so easy for them to do. But it had a massive impact. So yes, we would 100% keep you updated. We want to share the stories. We want you to share them as well. And that's coming to the end here. I tried to get it done in 30 minutes, but the questions are coming in. I would love to get involved after my stay. Is that possible? Fantastic. Yes. I've probably covered everything you can do. For those of you that want to be a little bit more involved, we are looking for ambassadors for this charity. We have a few. For those that actually know loads about social impact and charities, we are wanting external trustees for the charity. So most of the trustees are us at the team. We would love to take a step back, or some of them would, so that we get external people, so that there's more people looking in with more experience. I've done this ad hoc. I've made this up as I go and tried to create something magical here with no charity experience. There will be people there that have this, that know, that could really TEDx what we are delivering. So if you want to be a trustee, you can. You can follow us on social media, sign up for the newsletters, open the newsletters, click, share links. You can continue to donate. You can say there's the selection box thing. Well, I'm going to get 10 selection boxes delivered to there, and they're going to go out and give them on Christmas Day to low-income families. So there's so many things, but the answer is yes, there are many, many things that you could do as a guest. It's not just about the stay. You can donate before, during, and after it, and it doesn't need to cost money. I keep saying this now. If that's the final question, I will close on this. The way to support us, all the charity activities, is simply to like and share. Follow us on all the social media platforms, like stuff, share stuff, not just about Safe Havens. It's not about our exposure. As we said at the start, it is about increasing the exposure of all the third-party charities and communities. They don't have amazing social media managers like Grace. They don't have videographers and web developers like Milo. They don't have marketing budgets like us. It's normally just that one person with a passion that can't even build a website, and they don't have the funds for the website. They're not really good at social media. So a like and a share for them is as powerful as an actual donation. So we want to raise awareness for these small charities. We'll do it. I've got an amazing team. We'll continue to plough on. But I'm in a recording studio here. There's lights, there's cameras, there's Grace who's feeding me the questions, a professional background. There's Wi-Fi, there's a podcast studio. to make content. We're in a really, really privileged position. So a like and a share to some of these other small charities is massive, because that then gets them more people liking their page, following them, and donating and helping their causes as well. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. This has been a passionate one. I didn't go too far over, I know, because Grace didn't throw things at me, because when it comes to the charity side, I'm super passionate. Anybody involved in this charity saves lives. We've seen it. We see it every single month. There's these good news stories that come through. So it can be a simple leaving some food, leaving clothes, some books that we can then give to families that can't afford educational stuff, jotters and pencils and school bags, school things that your kids grow out of. The simplest, easiest things. It doesn't need to be money, doesn't need to be given time in your property. It can simply be following us on social media and giving us a little comment, and it helps some algorithm that means more people would see that cause. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, and I will see you next week on next week's Q&A.